Riverbend Talent on the Big Z, Dennis and Pigpen. You're one of those, and I'm the other.
I don't know which one I am is the problem.
What do you know? You know who our guest is.
That's about the only thing. I know that we're sponsored by Halpin Music Company and by Matt Van Voors of Macias Insurance. I know that much.
I trust
Those
Matt.
are facts, right? If they didn't give the station money, we wouldn't be allowed to come in here and do this. I'm sure of it.
Well, I'm not exactly sure when this is airing, but that Cloud Machine interview we did a few weeks ago may be the last one, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I know tonight, this is another fact I know. Sometimes there is two-way traffic, and sometimes there is only one-way traffic. This is a fact. And tonight, it is one-way traffic. We've got Leah Osborne. Leah Osborne.
That is.
Yeah, did I say it right?
You
Leah
did.
Osborne.
You got it right.
I pre-gamed a little, and I'm not sure what's going on. So, anyway, I'm confused as just, I'm the perfect amount of confused right now.
That's one of my favorite Roy Orbison songs, Leah.
Leah?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was just a song.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the perfect amount of confused. I'm like, I've never heard that song, but I want to hear it.
Oh, it's cool. It's got like this Hawaiian thing going.
Yeah.
I love Roy, man.
Yeah, well, Roy was part of the Traveling Wilburys, the greatest collaboration band of all-time stars ever. I don't know. There you go, man. So we have Leah Osborne, and she is a vocalist and plays the baritone ukulele in the band One Way Traffic.
Wow.
Welcome to the show.
I had no idea the Hawaiian thing would tie in.
I was going to say that earlier, but I didn't want to say it before he
Okay.
said that I played it.
Thanks.
See?
It was way more enjoyable thanks to that, yeah.
It all came full circle.
I love
right
it.
there.
We do a lot of circles around here.
Usually it takes us an hour to get full circle like that. We can just call it quits and go home now. The magic has already happened.
Right. Let me write this down. Go back to Hawaii at the end. Okay.
Bring it back around.
Oh, man. So you are in one-way traffic, and what has led you to this lowly place, my friend? Let's go back to the beginning of music in your life real quick, because we want to get to know you. First, let's take our hat off to all the members who couldn't be here with us tonight.
The Egyptians?
Let's pour one on the ground. For Mr. Drew Lane. No,
yeah, right. So, missing you, boys.
Let's give a shout out to all the rest of the members, and since they're not here, we're not going to talk much about them, but we'll give them a shout out.
Love you guys.
Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
We talk a lot of smack on them when they're not here, and we're going to, because I'm going to tell you something. I put a backstory on this Drew Lance guy already, okay?
Oh.
And he is a dirty character, okay?
Oh.
Like, if you need used cars, this guy
Oh
is
my
the
God.
guy. If you need some hot stereos, no, poor Drew Lance.
How can you call anyone dirty? You haven't showered in years. Wasn't for that pool.
I take a dip in the old cement pond. I'm chlorine clean.
It's like Jethro. Yeah.
Like Jethro Bodine. All right, I'm sorry. This is going to happen a lot.
That's fine. I'm here for it.
She's like, I thought this was a radio interview.
No, it's not even close.
No, it's great.
All right, so let's mention the other members of One Way Traffic. Drew Lance, vocalist and drummer.
That is right.
We got Sam Avery, guitar and box. Vocalist, that is.
Vocalist.
Eric Ferguson on the bass, a guitar. And then Sam Arbishon, mandolin and vocalist. Is that all? These are all correct statements?
That
I've
is all
made?
correct statements.
Ooh, I'm doing all right.
You got facts.
Yeah. They even know how to play those instruments. It's crazy.
Whoa.
I'm going to go ahead and call shenanigans on Eric Ferguson, really knowing how to all four strings of that bass. Oh,
Get a five-string.
He's a five-string guy. Well, now he's just showing off.
Obviously,
Okay.
you've seen him. Yeah.
He is just showing off. Anytime the bass player adds that extra string, it's like, I'm better than most bass. No, I don't know. Poor Eric.
You're lucky Alex walked out.
Yeah, I know he would want to throw stuff at me.
He couldn't lift it.
Bass players.
He couldn't lift anything. Don't worry about it.
He's not very good at throwing. So, all right, so that is the members of One Way Traffic, and they all had better things to do this evening, so we're going to talk a lot of smack on them as the night goes on. Right now, Sam Avery's opening up his new magazine that just came in, Drunk Chicks Over 80 or whatever it is. He said, no.
Oh my God.
Poor Sam. I'm sorry, Sam.
No.
I'm sorry. You should have showed up. You could defend yourself, but you didn't, so.
It's true.
Yeah, so anyway.
Is Ferguson from Ferguson? Just curious.
No.
We're going to go ahead and say yes. It's fake news here all night long.
Yeah.
No. Where do the members of the band mainly hail from? The St. Louis region?
Yeah. So the two Sams and Drew and myself are all from St. Louis, like South St. Louis, and then Eric
is from Ferguson. No,
from Ferguson. He lives in Washington, Missouri.
Oh, okay. Wow, he drives quite a.
He has to
ways.
drive a little bit, yeah, but he works out there at a bicycle shop with his dad. So
you know what though? I get it now. If I drove that far, I'd want a fifth string too. I drove this far, I'm gonna play an extra string.
I always like Washington, Missouri. Cool
It's
little
beautiful.
place.
It's
Lots of
historic,
little
too.
venues to play there. Yeah,
Right by
they're
the
a
river.
party town too.
Right.
We've had a couple shows out there. They've been pretty lit.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So now let's
Wineries, right?
There are definitely
Yeah,
wineries
yeah.
out there. Yeah, it's pretty. Lots of history, and then is it the Missouri or the Mississippi that runs right next to it? One of those, but yeah, there's railroads and all kinds of stuff down there. I like history and stuff like that, and obviously we were talking about ghosts, so
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we've got a little ghosty history going on in our little town over here. Yeah, have you been to Alton before?
oh yeah, plenty of times. I used to come over when I was younger, like back in the '90s, with my mom and her boyfriend, and we would go eagle and hawk watching. Like, right over there by the-
Nice.
Yeah, like for years and years and years. So
It's still happening, man.
yeah,
You
I
know,
love
it's
it.
Still got lots of bald eagles. Some of them have tried the hair club for eagles, so they don't look as bald anymore.
My God.
See some of them with like toupees on or whatever, but there's still some plain old bald ones over there too. So.
I always go for the ferries because it churns up the water and they dive down to get fish.
Yeah.
You can
a good idea.
pretty much lasso them. Never mind. Never mind.
Lasso one.
Pretty much.
I've never seen anybody lasso an eagle, but that would be
Only in my imagination.
that would be.
Just pointing that
I
out.
lassoed 12 of them to fly me off an island one time.
Oh my God.
Been on that island a long time.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you what I did to that poor volleyball.
Well said.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where we are. What's going on anymore.
OneWayTrafficMusic.com.
That's where we are. Poor people out there. Poor Leah drove all the way over here. Oh yeah, one-way traffic. That's what we're here to talk about. And Leah Osborne is the member of the band we're talking to, vocalist and baritone ukulele player. So let's go back. Like, what was your earliest love of music? When did you find yourself really attracted to this?
Definitely my dad. I mean, both of my parents were very much into music, but my father constantly singing, constantly showing me. I mean, I remember being in the bathtub and him just putting like an Elvis CD on or Rolling Stones or the Beatles, and just from a very young age realizing that I'm not tone deaf. And that I can sing and follow along. And my dad he is an incredible singer. He was also a karaoke DJ for like almost 20 years. So found myself doing that a lot. And then fast forward quite a bit, I guess in like 2008, I went to culinary school and I met a lot of people who were really into like the scene, the music scene. And so that kind of kick-started it, and then I met some of the boys in Cluster Pluck and picked up a washboard, actually, and did, like, the washboard thing, and it was kind of special, though, because it wasn't, like, a jug band kind of washboard. I mic'd it to where it sounded like a kick drum, and I put a snare wire on it, so I would hit it, and it got that, like, kind of thing going on, so...
Give it the... Boom, bop,
yeah,
boom, bop. Boots and cats and
boots and cats. Yeah, a lot of those. So that kind of kick-started the realization that I loved to perform. I knew that I liked doing that, back in grade school, I did like talent shows and stuff like that. But
all right, what did you play an instrument in grade school?
No, I did not. All I did was sing.
You were just performing.
Yeah,
okay,
and performed.
Gotcha.
I didn't start playing an instrument until like 2012.
Till the washboard.
Wow.
Till the washboard, and then in 2015 when I left Cluster Pluck, that's when I really dove into the baritone ukulele.
Wow, nice.
So yeah, really like 2015 is when I really picked up that instrument and started writing and doing all that. And then I met the boys. Well, I'm actually, history of One Way Traffic really quick was...
Yeah, you don't have to do it quick. Give us the good version, not the quick version.
We got time. Yeah, we got
time. Drew Lance is a very active musician in St. Louis in general. And at the time he was playing more of like a stripped down percussion kind of kit that he had set up, and there was a cone, and he had like a washboard that he would hit and like use as like, it was a whole setup that he did, and I thought he was amazing. And that was 2016 after me leaving Cluster Pluck, realizing I still needed and wanted to play music. So I picked up my baritone and started playing solo stuff, and he and I connected. And I was like, you know what? You have a beautiful... He can sing. His vocal range, you'll hear it on the album, but his vocal range is absolutely insane. And he was able to put, like, any kind of harmony on any song that I had. So I was just like, you're with me.
Yeah,
Let's do this. And we just kept playing. And do you guys know the place Venice Cafe down in St. Louis?
Oh, yeah.
So there's quirky stuff everywhere, all over the place, and we were playing a duo show one time to about 3 people, and we're like, you know what, we need a name. And above us there's this just a neon sign that says One Way Traffic, and we both kind of like looked up because we were talking to the people who were there, and we were like, what should our name be? And we both looked up and we were like, should it be One Way Traffic? And they were like, yeah, why not? And that, I mean, there's no like real in-depth thing about our name, but that's how we got our name. And then fast forward a year or two, we met the Sams and then Eric at an open jam, like an open bluegrass jam at this place called Pop's Blue Moon in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, Pop's. Heck yeah, that place has been around forever.
Man, and they had this Monday night going for about 3 or 4 years. They would have a host every Monday. I was one of the hosts, and then like 3 other people through like who play around St. Louis, who play bluegrass, would host. And I mean, you would have thought that we were hiring these like insane musicians. Some of the stuff that come out of those Monday nights were just like, jaw dropping. And then I kept seeing these kids come up. The 2 Sams in particular, and I was just like, Drew, should we like fill out this band, and get some real gigs here? And that's what we did. So
all right. So we have to take a step back though, because I love the story, but I'm confused how the culinary school. What?
Oh yeah.
Like how did that bring you into this? Other than good food, what did that do?
It does make total sense that musicians and culinary would go together.
I'm not even telling you.
Yeah, it's an artistic look at food, and these are artistic people, so I love it.
Yeah, it's
right. Plus, when you can't get a gig, you probably need to work in a bar making food.
Sorry, I just kind of threw that out there.
No, I was just curious how that tied into meeting everybody.
I chose to go to college for a year when I was 18, and then realized that I can cook. I had always cooked with my grandma, that whole thing, and realized that I was really good and went to culinary school. And it just so happened that for some reason musicians like to cook. A lot of them, a lot. They like food and music go hand in hand for some reason.
Because you're usually starving.
Yes.
So you have to be inventive, right?
Usually starving on the road.
So what can we do with this cheese again tonight?
We have to forage on the road, and then
we got a can of peas,
right?
I mean,
some turmeric,
right?
Literally, that's kind of what was happening to me in college. For that year, I was at a real college. I was cooking in our dorm rooms, and I was cooking in these, like, the older students had houses and stuff, so I was going over there and using their maple syrup and spaghetti and, like,
Right.
figuring out this crazy,
One more flavor of ramen noodles.
Right.
Maple and spaghetti ramen noodles.
But yeah, I eventually met Justin Torres, who is he's a player in Cluster Pluck, and he's also an incredible chef too. So yeah,
interesting.
It's kind of crazy. And that is what really, because he and I started being friends, and then we had another friend that we played music with too, and that all just kind of tied together right there. And that's really where I started meeting all of these people in this scene. Wow. And going to festivals. And, in 2011, that's when, like, Yonder Mountain String Band was, like, Jeff Austin heavy. And that just, like, blew my freaking mind. I was like, what is this life?
It's a new look at an old play.
Yeah, I was just like, screw all this other stuff I was just doing for 10 years in life or whatever. But, like, I don't know. It was I couldn't get enough, and I still haven't left the scene really. So
we have learned something tonight, children. We always say open mic nights are a great place to go to meet musicians, to get in bands. We now know culinary school is another great place to go to meet musicians and start up a band.
Plus, I'm thinking to myself, you know how hard it is to get a drummer to come over. But if you're a chef,
Drew is a drummer.
Hungry,
yes.
More people come. I mean, we tried illegal things to get people to come over, and food you can do legally.
I'll make you feel good.
I mean, literally, I can't even tell you how many practices I've been like, all right, I'll hold the practice, and I'll make us tacos and spaghetti.
Yeah, you kidding me?
Like, let's do this.
That's
I'm kind of disappointed you didn't bring food.
I know. Another little twist too. I own my own catering company now too.
Nice.
Oh, and let's get a plug in.
Yeah, plug it.
It's called Yonder Eats.
Yonder Eats. Nice little.
Because usually it's we're over yonder here, we're over yonder. It's a
and a little shout out to our boys from Illinois there in the Yonder Mountain String Band.
Yonder Mountain.
Yeah,
I love them.
Yeah. So there you go, man. Yonder Eats and very. I'm blown away by the whole culinary music. It makes sense. It's one of those veils have been lifted, and I understand it, but wow, I didn't see that one coming.
Right, and now I know if I read One-Way Traffic with Yonder Eats that it's not two bands.
No.
Right.
And what's crazy...
For sure be like, Yonder Eats, that's a great band name.
If you look that up, if you look up One-Way Traffic and Yonder Eats, you'll find a dinner show that I actually threw.
I think that's a great idea. I was actually thinking you could break out a buffet at your shows.
That's literally what we did.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I charged a certain amount for the ticket, and then they got an opening band, and then they got us after I served all the food.
Yeah, write this down, Big
Write it down.
We might have to do one of these.
Yonder Eats.
Seriously, if you ever want to throw something, I got a band and a chef.
There you go.
Check this out. We're moving now. We are moving now.
We're cooking. We're cooking.
Our two biggest issues: music and food.
Music and food. Are you also a farmer of types of sorts?
Well,
this is the trifecta, man.
I know.
It's the Holy Grail.
I did grow really beautiful tomatoes this year, so.
Well, we all say that when we're in the store. Back in the day, I'm growing tomatoes in my basement.
Yeah, real good tomatoes.
Well, you know why musicians are starving? Because they use their money for something else. So, those starving musicians will have plenty to share, I'm sure.
Right. We spend all our money on homegrown tomatoes.
Yep. Juicy tomatoes.
Only two things money can't buy. That's true love and homegrown tomatoes. I believe that's an old country song or something.
Definitely is a country song.
So there you go. So you're playing bluegrass, but have you always been a big bluegrass head? What were your early musical influences?
Definitely the Beatles.
There you go.
When I was younger, it was stuff like that because my dad, like I was saying earlier, my dad was the one who was introducing me to the Beatles and Elvis and Blondie and Oh my God!
Okay, so that's
so many.
that's the dad's
CBGB.
musical influence. Let's hear the other side. What's the mom's musical influence?
Mom's is more like Marshall Tucker Band, and then
alright.
she would go to like I don't know, Culture Club
Oh.
to share.
Yeah.
There we
So,
go,
which is
okay.
amazing for me. I mean, I listen to everything.
A wide
so,
variety.
yeah.
I heard you mention. Did you mention a stepdad earlier?
No.
Oh, stepmom. Okay. I
Nope,
thought
just
you-
Yeah.
I got.
She
they-
mentioned Blondie though, so
Yeah,
that's kind of
Blondie.
a different direction
She's
for
my
dad.
stepmom.
Yeah, that which is like okay. So I'm trying to fill in blanks and give you a good backstory here. So Blondie's
Yeah,
the stepmom.
Debbie Harry's my
Debbie-
stepmom.
Right. Well, I was thinking, that's pretty diverse for dad too. Going from Blondie to Beatles, right?
Yeah. Well, but I always love to hear the two sides because usually people with wide music, likes come from a wide array of music in the beginning. So
Well, what's crazy is that the bluegrass part of my life, what I feel like when I say bluegrass, I mean like traditional bluegrass.
Bill Monroe,
Ralph
Del
Stanley, Del McCurry. I didn't really get introduced to that until those open jams on Mondays, and
Wow.
and honestly, it was the Sams who really were coming in with these old traditional songs, and I'm still to this day, I'm so grateful for that. I don't really listen to it too much. I'll listen to some bluegrass for sure, but I'm grateful for what it skill-wise gave to me because I was able to, I can hear a C chord now, and I can hear an E minor chord now because we're all playing around one mic, and they're like, all right, we're going to play this number. Here we go. It's an A, and I just got to keep up. So, I really appreciate knowing how to play bluegrass and to play that, two-step, really fast stuff. I don't really take solos either too much, but I'll hold down that rhythm like it's nothing.
Well, and bluegrass people tend to have their theory down. They know how to work the old circle of fifths decoder that came in their Ovaltine.
Yeah.
Because the bluegrass people do that a lot more than rock and roll people. Hey, let's play an A minor this time. No, let's play it in F sharp.
Yeah,
And you just got to kind of be able to roll with it, which is
we call it caponese.
Caponese,
Gotta love
There's
capo.
one way to look at it.
What's great though about One Way Traffic though is this album in particular is pretty I guess you could call it grassier. There's some bluegrass tunes on this, but at this point now we are very heavy jam, let's call it jam, grass, blues, all kinds of stuff. I can't even really. You'll see.
The bluegrass dances with everything. My wife's favorite is Billy Strings. I go all over the country to see Billy Strings. I love it. He's great. It's psychedelic bluegrass.
It's more like that. If you wanna throw us in something, it's like Billy Strings and Fish combined.
And
literally.
that new the whole new wave of psychedelic bluegrass has got a whole new generation listening to bluegrass because it's still got those traditional feels to it, and it's still those traditional instruments that are putting out the music. But wow!
And for this,
the kids can dance to it.
Yeah, and for this band, we're not writing. That's what is making us different. We're writing these songs now that are just they have a whole new genre, in my opinion. I can't really name one genre for what we're doing because we're not writing to be a bluegrass song. We're just writing the songs, and then
most old school bluegrass and punk rock was play three chords as fast as you can and say something that's honest.
Right. Right.
3 chords and the truth, baby, as fast as you can put it out. But a lot of the newer bluegrass and the jam grass and the psychedelic grass is pushing into more progressive levels, and it's not just this tight little circle that we're going to play so you guys can dance for 3 minutes and we're going to do another one.
Right.
It's let's take this into a 20-minute jam and space it out and get jazzy with it and
it's fun.
yeah. And you can do. We've seen so many genres of music go to that. Other than straight pop, and I guess the Beatles did their best with it, but to push it there. But you see that, and now. The bluegrass is the new one that it's like, man, we've seen it turned on its head, and I love it. So,
So let's talk about your CD.
Yeah, so this one we put out in 2019. And what's really cool about this one is it has all three of us. Well, at the time, Sam Aubuchon wasn't singing it, so it has all three vocals on here, like at least 2 or 3 times. And then we also feature our mandolin player on here. It's called Samdolin.
Yeah.
So
what's the name of the release?
It's called Turn Right.
Okay.
And yeah, we put this out in 2019. We really hurried this one because in 2019 we applied for the band competition at Northwest String Summit, which is out in Oregon, and it's like a really big this kind of music festival. And so we ended up getting on the top 5, and then we went there and we won.
Nice.
Wow. So
congratulations.
We put this out to tour on, because when we figured out that we were going to go, I was like, okay, let's put together a tour. Yeah. And then we got this done, and
so where's some of the places you went?
On that tour and the one we just took, we do a route from... Well, this tour we went to Indiana, so St. Louis to Indiana, to Wisconsin, to we just drove through South Dakota, and then
didn't even stop.
We didn't really stop at all, honestly. Then we got to Montana and we played in Bozeman, Montana, and then we were in Oregon for that festival for 5 days, and we played 4 sets.
Nice.
And then came back around, drove through a couple more. So we drove through Idaho, and then we drove through Utah, and we played 3 nights in Colorado.
Nice.
And came back home.
A lot of beautiful scenery there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
man, like, I don't know, 8 mountain passes or something like that. But we did almost the same on our 2019 tour. We played basically all the same places I just said, and it was...
About a month-long tour?
Yeah, it's 3 weeks.
3-week tour? There you go.
It was long.
Yeah, that's a lot of driving, but man, again, at least it's beautiful country to drive through. It's not just driving through Kansas all day.
Nope. and you know, like, we were at that festival in Oregon for 5 days, so it's like, okay, we took 3 days to get there, 4 days to get there, and now we get to just sit. So it really wasn't that bad, and our van held up really well. So
okay. Yeah, and so the CD's obviously available at your website, onewaytrafficmusic.com. Also, digital distributors everywhere.
Yep, all of them, and it's all over YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes.
You got your own YouTube channel?
We do.
What's that called?
One Way Traffic Music.
Okay. Put the music on there, guys.
Yeah, put it on there. Well, there's some one-way traffic stuff out there. So a lot of the things when I was like building this band, I had to put music or band at the end of it.
Yeah.
So
we got a listening audience, so we have to definitely fill in the music spot so you can find it. You know.
Yeah, we're all over there. This is definitely. This is a solid first album. I'm very excited for our next one, though. It is showing our progression.
In the works, like now?
Oh, yeah. It'll be out in January. Like, we have one more session to add a couple things to a song, and then we're producing the last 5, and then we're good.
All right.
Then we go through the process of... getting the physical copies of a CD and getting the artwork done and all that stuff. So.
All the post recording part, putting together a CD.
And we want to do like a single release and a video and all that. So
nice.
So we're seeing a lot more bands trend towards just singles.
Yeah.
In your genre, are you seeing more full length albums, or is it kind of the same?
It's in our genre, it's more. It's the full album, but we have been trying to get on that kind of like trend thing too, where it's about algorithm apparently when it comes to Spotify and stuff like that, and so that's why bands are putting out those singles. And we've definitely talked about that, so we can like put out 3 maybe consecutively, and then that's when you get on those playlists that millions of people listen to, and then all of a sudden your song has 100,000 views, so
maintain relevancy.
I mean, which it totally makes sense. So who knows, we might do that.
well, but with that particular genre and that listening, that audience, they don't.
It's usually full.
They don't really want the 3-minute singles. They want the long jams. They wanna sit and rock out for a while. So I'm looking forward to rocking out to you guys at Framily Fest. You're going to be playing at Framily Fest in Wood River, Camp de Bois, and that is happening. You guys are playing on October 1st, the Saturday evening down there. So pretty excited to have you coming over to this side of the river.
We are stoked.
Have you guys strolled over to this side of the river yet?
In Alton? Or no, not yet. But we have been throughout. We've played a lot in Effingham for some reason. I guess it's the festivals we've been on.
Yeah. The
Summer Sundown, and then
the Moccasin Creek.
Moccasin.
Yep, yeah. Bill Poss does a great job of that out there. So excellent. Framily Fest did 3 years at that place. That's a great little place right on the lake there.
Yeah, nice. I didn't
this
know that.
year and then we did 2 down in Benton, and now we have come home. The chickens have come home to roost, so to speak. And coming to Camp de Bois, happy to have you guys playing down there. That's going to be you guys going about 8 p.m. I think on that evening, but October 1st, a couple of hours to come down and check out One Way Traffic along with all the other bands. Any other gigs coming up in the October, November that you know about?
In September in St. Louis, we actually are opening up for Leftover Salmon.
Ooh, look at that.
September 16th.
Now that has probably already happened by the time this plays, but man, that's
Still fun to talk about.
yeah, it's still fun to talk about. Leftover Vince, huh?
I'm
there you go.
ecstatic about that. I have this thing going for the past 2 years that I see us, if we are still a band in 2025 or 2026, that we're going to open for Leftover Salmon and, I don't know, Railroad Earth or something at Red Rocks.
Oh,
that's my...
Oh, yeah.
putting it out there.
Yes.
I mean...
Do that.
Put it out there with you, man.
Believe and it will be true.
Yeah.
I love manifesting stuff, so...
Yeah, definitely.
I cannot wait to meet Vince and see what kind of networking I can do that day. So,
you familiar with Andy Frasco?
Oh yeah.
So I was hanging out with Andy down in Kentucky a while back, and we were talking about Vince. And he said Vince is the one guy you can call with any crazy idea, and he will jump on it almost immediately. He's like, you don't have to talk Vince into very much.
Did you watch those cooking videos?
That's what brought it up. Was I said, man, I love the culinary arts, bringing musicians together. I said, I love the cooking video you did with Vince. And he goes, man, I called him and said, you want to do this? He said, absolutely. So that's fun. Now we had Leftover Salmon play at our amphitheater down here a few
That's
years
been a while,
back.
yeah.
And that has probably been my favorite show that I have seen at that amphitheater in all the years that it has been down there. That was the one that was like
back in the days when it was possible to throw a show down there.
Still is. It's happening.
It's happening again. But we had a big drought there after that show.
After that show, there was a bit of a drought, and it became like if you weren't part of the municipality, you couldn't do anything there. But hey,
new mayor.
It's a new day, a new game, and we have manifested a new situation.
That's right.
So there you go. So anyway, Leftover Salmon. That's exciting. Sorry we didn't get that in time to promote
It's all good. That's just like the perfect kind of band for what we are too at this point too.
Well, culinary.
Yeah.
Culinary. There you go.
What can we do with leftover salmon?
Add mushrooms.
What's really great is that me and Sam Aubuchon do a lot of the promo stuff for the band, and one of our promo video ideas was like so ridiculous, but for this Leftover Salmon show, we wanted to like act like we were fishing and catch a box, and the box was going to have this like cooked piece of salmon on it. And, like, on top of the salmon, it was just going to say, come to our show. It's just ridiculous. But I was like, I'll cook it.
I get it. It's leftover salmon, man. I get it.
Yeah. Like with a bite out of it.
I did the same thing when I opened for Hot Tuna.
Silly.
Absolutely silly. Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm glad that you're a silly person. Otherwise, you would not be enjoying your time here.
No, that's great.
So there you go, man. You recorded the 2019 Turn Right at Sawhorse. How'd you like that experience at Sawhorse?
It was great. Our engineer was a friend of ours, is a friend of ours too. His name's Chris Turnbaugh, and he is just fantastic. So that was great, and I don't know, the band just, the five of us naturally just really vibe well together. So that's
that chemistry is what it's all about.
That's one of the hardest parts, I feel like. I mean...
Yeah.
Did you guys just set up and jam live? How'd you go about it?
No, well, yeah, to an extent. The place we did for this one, we each had like our own section in a room, or like in the big room, they had like sectioned off spots. So we would do kind of like what they call a ghost track. And there wouldn't be any singing. There would just be us playing to the click, so we could get that. And then we would have, like, whoever was singing, they would drop their instrument, and then they could sing to the ghost track, and then, like, individually do tracks if, like, the mandolin didn't like something like that.
Right.
If it didn't record right,
yeah,
or something went wrong with one of them. So you jammed together, but sort of separated a little bit, not like you would normally get close together here.
Yeah.
That way they could separate the music a little bit, not as much bleed over.
Yep.
But tried to keep it mainly to an authentic jam situation, only punching in
Yeah.
or overdubbing when you need to for the most part.
The new album, though, is going to be very, like, raw.
Good.
Not a lot of, overdubbing too much, or, like, separate tracks and stuff like that.
Keep it organic.
Yeah, and I mean, that's how we are, too. We very much, it isn't quite the representation of who we are at this point, but...
Right, the band has aged
We
like
have,
leftover
like-
salmon does.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Really
I hope it
good
smells
leftover
better
salmon.
than leftover salmon after
We added
aging.
some
Yeah.
garlic and,
Or like cured.
We'll call it fermented.
But yeah, the experiences that you guys have gained over time now has created this new sound, and probably more like the band you envisioned from the start, as opposed to you've kind of
Absolutely.
found yourselves now.
And I mean the two Sams are young. I mean, Sam Avery is 23. I'm 35, so I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest in the band, but like Sam going from 18 when he was first in our band to 23 now is like he's a totally different man. So with that came
Still can't rent a car.
no, he sure can't.
Sorry, Sam. You should have been here. You could defend
Sorry,
yourself.
bud. But just that, him alone, I could go on for a long time about how he has completely shifted a big portion of our sound because of him listening to new bands, to picking up his electric now. He doesn't just play his acoustic now. It's more electric than acoustic. So it's great. I love it.
Awesome.
I love what it's doing. It's making me buy more pedals and experiment more, and
More filters.
yeah, it's a lot of fun actually. It's and it's authentic. It's raw and authentic. All of our jams at every show are new.
Yeah.
They're all
Every
on
time
the
you play the
spot
song.
every time. It's
And if
different.
people
That's the way
haven't
jam
yet,
bands
they
supposed to.
probably should have logged on to onewaytrafficmusic.com by now.
I'm sure they all have.
And,
Actually, this just in, the website was overrun and shut down.
Okay.
Too many people are on it now. I'm just
good to
kidding.
know.
I'm just kidding. Go there now.
I'll pass that on to Halpin Music and Mr. Matt Van Voort from the CS Insurance.
We shut down the whole internet, the whole thing. Anyway,
Congratulations.
So the new album, are you recording it at Sawhorse also? Or?
We're finishing it at Sawhorse, and oh my god, I've been trying to think about the name of.
Left Turn. No,
Well, no, the other. So we recorded
U-turn,
it
no.
somewhere else too, but I cannot
Oh,
think
I
of
got
the
you.
name
Can't
of
think
the.
name of it. Yeah, we'll just call it Shaky Daddy.
Yeah.
Shaky Daddy.
Shaky Daddy Records.
Yeah, man, that place is
Nice.
way laid back. You wouldn't think so with the name Shaky Daddies, but
For the life of me, but yeah, we're
Right.
finishing it at Sawhorse, and
excellent. So there you
All right,
go.
man,
and
yeah.
we look forward to that coming out by January.
yes, definitely
we're
January.
looking at? Excellent.
Probably have an album release in St. Louis, more than likely at Broadway Oyster Bar.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the
Wow.
end. We love that place.
Who doesn't?
Oh man, it has brought some of our best played shows, like just because of the energy, and obviously it's St. Louis hometown
I was
show.
going to say, you can go there in the middle of the week, and the place is packed with people who are there to have a good time, and they want music, and they want it now, man, and that's what Bob runs.
It's electric,
off of.
man.
We got one of those over here, don't we? An oyster bar?
We do.
Grafton
we got a
Oyster Bar?
Oyster Bar.
That's related.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Just down the road.
They would love to have one-way traffic. Music.com, play there. Sorry, we plugged stuff.
You know who I saw this week? One-way traffic music.com.
I love that band.
Right.
Yeah, we call them OWT. No.
Yeah, you know how it is. It's hard to remember all that when you're driving down the road listening to a nice
Absolutely.
person like Leah Osborne, who's come all the way over here to join us. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And say hi to Dad and Mom,
Oh, yeah.
Blondie and Culture Club.
That's right.
All right.
Thank them for all the musical influences.
I do.
Yeah,
Daily.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know who I want to give a big thanks to? All the guys who couldn't make it. Drew Lance, Sam Avery, Eric Ferguson, and Sam Arbachon.
Well, when you got your own town, you know, you're busy.
Well, he's just trying to keep the wraps on things over there. I don't know. So, hey, and Drew's just trying to run a yogurt shop or something. I don't know what he's doing.
God.
Yogurt's,
I love that.
yogurt's culinary, isn't it? Would that count?
Absolutely
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
There's good bacteria and bad bacteria.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what's going on. Hey, thanks so much for driving all the way over here and just hanging out with us for a little while.
It was great.
I hope we have somehow promoted your band.
I think we've done a good job.
I hope
OneWayTrafficMusic.com.
There it is.
And anybody who's going, well, I just want to see them, then come to Framily Fest.
Yeah.
October 1st.
October 1st, right down the road, right off Route 3 there at Camp Du Bois. That place, if you're going, oh, I've never heard of Camp Du Bois. It's been there since 1803, people. So
That's awesome.
it is very historic.
We used to hand out joints from stage. Maybe you guys should hand out food.
Let's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come up with,
Oh, you start throwing tacos, man. I will be there.
I don't know, man. And then the joints need to be thrown back at us.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's make sure that happens.
A little give and take. What was the band that threw Whoppers? We Love Whoppers?
Whoppers Taste Good.
Whoppers Taste Good was the name of the band, and they would sometimes bring Whoppers, sometimes other food, and they'd throw it at you. So if you were hungry,
Yeah.
It's like they drove through a Burger King drive-thru right before they hit stage and just got a few extras to wing at the crowd.
I think what they really did was clean out each other's cars from all the, stuff that was...
I got hit with a half-eaten hot dog.
Right. Stuff they had, accumulated in their floorboards, which is where you can find all kinds of wrappers and
wrapped in a freaking Whopper.
Oh man, there you go. So again, big thanks to Leah Osborne for driving over. She is with one-way traffic, man. And if you haven't seen them, it is time to get out and do it.
Yeah, or you could possibly go to Hawaii. But that would cost a lot more.
And we have come full circle, which means it is time to end this interview. We are back to Hawaii where we started. Big thanks to Leah. Big thanks to Matt Van Voors of Macias Insurance. And, of course, Halpin Music. They've been sponsors for 7-8 years now. Only reason we get to come in and do this. Big thanks to all of them. Everybody go to onewaytrafficmusic.com. Check them out. Get down to Framily Fest this weekend. Check them out. And whatever it is you're going to do, please just get out and support local music and art.
And food.
And food.